Recently, myself and many others have finally obtained the Jackrabbit vehicle from Season 9. Therefore, I figured now would be a good time to rank all 13 Jailbreak Season vehicles from worst to best. Now keep in mind, when I rank these Season vehicles, I don't rank them just based on speed, I rank them based on a mixture of how good they look as well as whether they have good stats. So this ranking will be very subjective. Tell me down below in the comments what your favorite Season vehicles are. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get started. In last place, we have the R8. This vehicle is incredibly slow and it looks pretty bad, even by old Jailbreak vehicle standards. While it seats 3 players and many people have praised it for this aspect, there are many cars that are faster and better looking that seat the same or more players. For example, the Airtail is also a retired vehicle, but it actually looks good and it's really fast. I pretty much never use the R8. I only use it when I'm recording videos like this one, and the fact is it really just doesn't look great and it has pretty poor stats. Up next, we have the Crew Capsule. I've had a weird relationship with this vehicle. Initially, I didn't really like it. However, I was starting to warm up to it up until the Celsior was added. Then I really didn't like it. Now, I kind of like it a little bit more, but it's still not a very good vehicle. This vehicle is incredibly slow and has a very low hover height, so I never really find myself using it. This is a pretty good vehicle to spawn if you want to get away from cops easily, but it's not really good for anything else. Then in 11th place, we have the Raptor. I'm a huge fan of Ford pickup trucks in real life, so I really like this vehicle's looks. Even though it is a little bit outdated, of course, it's still one of the better looking OG vehicles in my opinion. However, the downfall of this vehicle are the stats. This vehicle is pretty lackluster, unfortunately. While it does seat a lot of people, I never really play in a huge squad or anything like that, so I never find myself driving this vehicle. However, it does look great, so it doesn't come in dead last. Up next, we have the Banana Car. Now, stats-wise, this vehicle is great. It has an awesome top speed and acceleration, and it is honestly pretty fun to drive sometimes. However, it's just such a wacky and weird vehicle that I never find myself using it. The look of it just seems off to me, so it's not really appealing to me in particular. However, I know a couple of my friends really like driving it, and I can see why, as it's a very unique vehicle. It's just not my favorite. Then we have the Rattler. This vehicle looks phenomenal. It's just so well made. I love all the details it has, like the big skull on the front. I love how it has some epic fire particles that come out when you accelerate. This vehicle also has some pretty good acceleration. Unfortunately, the top speed itself is pretty lackluster. So I do like this vehicle and I think it's pretty unique, but I don't drive it very much as the stats itself aren't that great. Up next, we have the most recent season vehicle, the Jackrabbit. This vehicle looks phenomenal. UFED did a great job designing it, and overall I think it's incredibly solid. It has some pretty good stats. It's fun to drive off the road, and even on the road it's still pretty good. This is basically like a junior version of the Trailblazer, and I like that a lot. Overall, I don't really have much to say about this vehicle. It's just a nice solid season prize that was very easy to obtain. Then we have the Beam Hybrid. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking vehicles in the game just due to how detailed it is, especially the interior. There's just an awesome amount of detail put into this that I really find admirable. It also has some pretty cool stats, and overall, I think this is also a very solid vehicle. It's a shame more people didn't get this vehicle due to the difficulty of Season 1, as I think it's really good and pretty underrated, honestly. It's always a ton of fun to drive around, and it makes for a pretty cool flex car. Moving on, we have the Icebreaker. Now, I know a lot of people, myself included, were disappointed that this vehicle didn't fit the Season 7 theme, but honestly, putting that aside, this is still a great vehicle and definitely worth the grind. It has some fantastic acceleration and it has amazing handling. It also seats 4 players, and I honestly find myself playing in groups of like 3 to 4 players quite a bit, so this is definitely a fun vehicle to drive. In 5th place, we have the Torpedo. Now, to state the obvious, this vehicle's speed is nothing to underestimate. This is the second fastest vehicle in the game, and it is crazy fast. To this day, people still don't know how fast this vehicle can go. However, I haven't been as big of a fan of it as many others have due to a couple of reasons. First off, I think this vehicle honestly looks terrible. Even back when it was first added, I thought it looked very weak compared to the Agera, which the vehicle was based on. Second, the insane speed can make it very hard to control at times. Overall, this vehicle definitely has some phenomenal stats, but a couple of things hold this vehicle back from being my favorite. Then we have the Volt 4x4. This vehicle looks absolutely phenomenal. I love the look of it so much. I also really like the large trails that go behind it, and I like how big this vehicle is. It also has a pretty good speed as it caps in at around like 240. However, this vehicle does have some pretty slow acceleration, which can be annoying, and also the large spoiler at the back means that it's likely to get caught into something and slow down. So those things hold it back for me a little bit, but I still really love this vehicle and it's one of my favorites. Then we have the Batmobile. I'm a huge fan of the Dark Knight trilogy, so this pick is admittedly biased. I fully admit that this vehicle does not have amazing stats, and you might be wondering why I like this vehicle when I bashed vehicles like the R8 for having slower speeds. While the speed of this vehicle is not that great, it's just so much fun to drive around, and I really like how easy it is to control. I've been driving this vehicle a lot more recently for some reason, and I just really like it a lot. Ever since it was first added, it's been one of my favorite vehicles in the game. For our penultimate season vehicle, we have the Celsior. I was a huge fan of the Blade back when it was first added in 2020, and I was really sad when the Blade was removed. The drone was not a good replacement in my opinion, as it has a very ugly look and it just feels pretty rushed, honestly. In my opinion, the Celsior is the true Blade replacement. While yes, it is a downgrade in stats, of course this is needed as it's a spawnable vehicle. Do you really think that they would let you spawn a Blade tier vehicle? Like, come on guys. It still has fantastic stats in my opinion. While the hover height is a little bit low, that's fine in my opinion as it's a spawnable vehicle and you're still able to climb over almost anything. This vehicle also looks great and I really dig the futuristic vibes that it has. I also like how this vehicle seats 4 people, so it's a great vehicle for teams, and I really like driving this around when I play with multiple people. But coming in first place is the Bolide, and no, I'm not calling it the Beignet. This vehicle had so much anticipation and many people were requesting it for a long time, and in my opinion, this vehicle lived up to the hype. This is one of my favorite vehicles in the game, probably my favorite supercar, and this is due to a couple of reasons. Obviously, the stats are phenomenal. It has a great top speed, great handling, and great acceleration. But it also looks great. Rally Subby is a great modeler, and this vehicle is no exception. This vehicle embodies the qualities of what makes a Jailbreak season vehicle perfect. It has great stats, but it also looks great, so overall, for me, it comes in number 1. That's it for my ranking of all 13 Jailbreak season vehicles. What do you think? Which ones are your favorite? Which ones are your least favorite? Make sure to tell me down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel for more Jailbreak rankings like this one. Also make sure to join my Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and join my Roblox group if you would like to interact with me more directly. Anyways, thank you guys so much for your support. I can't understate just how much it means to me, and hopefully soon we're gonna reach 2,500 subscribers. Thank you guys, and I'll see you all later.